What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. A lot of times in the NFL, you don't get to choose. You kind of go where the wind blows, right? Where kind of life and fate takes you. And a lot of times in the NFL, even the best of relationships between a city and a player or a franchise and a player can go awry, can get soured, and kind of end on a bad note. Now, many times they'll come back together maybe after it's done and both have had a little time to process and they remember the good times over the bad. But I've seen it time and time again in doing this job. And in that respect, Alvin Kamara has always been a bit different. Remember earlier this year, he's talking about basically, look, I'm not happy with my contract, but that's not going to stop me from showing up every single day to work as hard as I can and put it on, not just for this team and my teammates, but for the city, consistently referencing his connection with the people to the city throughout his time here and how much it means, of consistently telling us he wants to retire a Saint. And we've heard that a million times before from players. Heard that a million times before, but it almost never happens. And so you kind of hear that and you get cynical and you roll your eyes and you say, okay, whatever. But Alvin Kamara means what he says. And the proof is, well, it's there now in front of your face. Because not only this year, and look, I still believe Kamara's good, has so much left to give. And you could see that the first two games when you had other weapons that teams had to account for, he could go back to being that star. And then if you want to overcommit to him, he would unlock everybody else. The problem is you're right back to where you were last year, even with Clint Kubiak's play design, which is funny because we're talking about designing good plays. God, it feels like 10 years ago when Kubiak had stopped the murder rate in the city and everything was good in the world. And Clint Kubiak was basically our football Jesus. That's another guy who, unfortunately, I don't know what the future holds, but if he was dealt a better hand, I think Kubiak could have really shined as well. Now it's going to be probably struggle bus the rest of the season. But Alvin Kamara, he was working his ass off. He was kicking ass beginning of the season. Everything starts to go right. He gets a broken rib when he doesn't have a contract. And what'd he do? Did not miss any time. He's out there playing running back with a broken rib every time. Just running, moving, sitting up, coughing, breathing is hard with a broken rib, much less 300-pound, mind-bogglingly fast and strong players coming to hit you in those ribs every single time you touch the ball. And so yesterday it's announced that Alvin Kamara and the New Orleans Saints agreed to a 2-year, $24.5 million extension, which will put him under contract through the 26 season, through 25 and 26. I think this is a good price and a good deal for both parties. This is not exorbitant. I still think that he is. It's kind of like when you think back to Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. Why didn't the Giants commit to Saquon? Because, yes, would it have been expensive maybe relative to other running back contracts? Yes, but it's still really inexpensive compared to other positions. Compared to wide receiver, compared to quarterback, compared to cornerback, compared to left tackle. Committing to a good running back is still a relatively cheap option. And so if you're going to tell me, 24.5 over 2 years, yeah, I'm going to say that's good. And it's 22 guaranteed, which obviously has to make Kamara very happy. And it saves $15 million on next year's cap. So speeding up some or clearing up some space in the immediate to maybe get done what you need to do this offseason. But and you can say, is this the best move when they need to start over, et cetera, et cetera. I could understand maybe some people saying it's not. But from a human side, emotional side, fan side, we always want players to love the city that we live in, right? We want people to and they normally don't. They always go there. Drew Brees, what's he do? He doesn't play, moves right back to California. Sean Payton, obviously wanted to get out of here. And I'm not saying Kamara's going to live here the rest of his life, but it means something to him to retire here as a New Orleans Saint. And even though he's just 29 years old, this contract does set him up to potentially do so. And it gives you a good piece that can be effective if you can do your part of the job. If you can get an O-line that's decent, if you can get a couple other weapons to pair him with, he still has a lot left to give. So I love seeing him get this deal. I love thinking about him sticking around. I love not thinking about him in another uniform. And I love seeing one of my all-time favorite Saints potentially going to now retire a Saint. So shout out to Alvin Kamara getting this deal and remaining in the black and gold. Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the two guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.